Hello everyone, welcome back to Code Dev Academy. Have you ever wondered how glitches like this are being created? Well, today we're about to go on a step-by-step tutorial on how to create a glitch text with pure CSS only, nothing else. So even though you're a beginner or you're already into web development, this video is for you. So if you're ready to level up your skills, let's get started. So as you can see here, I'm having my two files here of my HTML file and my CSS file right here. For my HTML, I just have some basic HTML here, which I gave it a title of glitch, and I linked my HTML file to my CSS file. And for my CSS here, I don't have anything. I have an empty file here. So I'm going to head back to my CSS file. The first thing I'm going to do for this my HTML here is to create a H1, and this H1 I'm going to give it a text of glitch, which I'm going to use the text glitch to give the glitch effect on it. So if I save here now, I'm having a text of glitch in my browser. So I'm going to give this H1 a class name. I'm going to give it a class name of glitch, just like this. And I'm going to use this class name to target it in my CSS here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give a margin of 0, and I'm going to give padding to be 0 also. And I'm going to make a box sizing to be border box. That's actually all we need. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to target my background here because I'm going to change the background color. So I'm going to make body here, and I'm going to make background color. This is the color we need, and we're going to need a color of text to be white, just like this. Now that's actually what we are needing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to target our glitch, which is our H1. So I'm going to write glitch. The first one we're going to do, we're going to make it a position of absolute, because we want to take it to the center of the page. So first we're going to make a position of absolute, and we're going to make a top to be 50%. A top to be 50%, and we're going to make the left to be 50% also. And after that, we're going to make it be a transform translate, and we're going to make it, since when we save here it's in the middle but a little bit by the side, so we're going to make it position in the center. I'm going to say minus 50% here, comma, and I'm going to say minus 50% also. Now this is going to bring it to the center. So after that, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to increase the font size. The font size, we're going to make it to be 5 rem. Now we have it to be 5 rem by the size, and we're going to need some letter spacing here. We need a little bit of space between the letters, so we're going to make it to be 10 pixels, just like this. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to make a cursor to be pointer because we want a finger to appear when we hover on it. When I say here, now we are having our cursor pointing at it. So that's actually what we need for our glitch. That's all we need for our text here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to clone this our text with the use of pseudo element. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say glitch. I'm going to target our glitch just like this, and I'm going to put a pseudo element, and it's going to be before. So what I'm going to do now in this my pseudo element, I'm going to use the content property. So within this content, I'm going to write the text glitch, or let me use caps. I'm going to write the text glitch. So when I save here, if you notice here, we're having two glitch text here, but it is an inline form, so it's going in the same line. If you look, as you can see, we're having two texts of glitch here. So let's head back to our stylus. Now let me make it to be a display block so that you can actually now see it in its block form. So now you can see it's no more an inline, it is in a block form now. Now after making a display block, I'm going to make it a position of absolute. Now what we're going to do, we're going to make it a top of 0. So after having it to be a top of 0, we're going to make it a left also to be 0. We're going to make the left to be 0 also. So by the time I save here, now you're not seeing my second text. That's because now it is in the same position with my glitch text. It's underneath it is underneath my first text, so it's having the same position. Now what I'm going to do, after creating a before pseudo element, now I'm going to create an after, because I actually need 3 of the text. So instead of me, since I'm going to give it the same styling as this my first styling of this my before, instead of me writing the same styling, I can just come here and give comma and just say glitch, just like this, and give it my pseudo element and write after. I'm going to having my before text and my after text. So when I save here, you're actually not seeing both of my text, but if I decide to remove this my position of absolute just like this here, if I cut it and I save, now you're seeing 3 of my text here. The middle one is my actual text, and this is my before and this is my after. So let me bring it back to so it's going to be stacking on top of each other. So you're not going to be seeing it clearly. So after that, what I'm going to do now next is I'm going to create some styling, because I want, when I'm hovering on my before and my after text, I want some changes to happen. So I'm going to say dot glitch. I'm targeting my glitch first, then I'm going to say hover. When I hover on it, just like this, now I'm going to target my before now first. So when I hover on my before, when I hover on the before, the first thing I want to do, I'm going to give an animation. So I'm going to write animation first. Then I'm going to target my glitch in my animation, just like this. So I'm going to give it to be 0.3 seconds, 0.3 seconds, and I'm going to write linear, just like this, and I'm going to say 6, and it's closing just like this. So after that, I'm going to change the color of the text. So when you hover on the before text, I'm going to change the color to 219 and 6 F3. Now we're having this color. Then we're going to make the z index to be -2. I'm going to need the z index to be -2. So when I hover on it, you're not seeing the changes actually, but there's actually changes. Let me finish styling my after text, then I'm going to remove the position absolute so you can actually see what is happening. So after that, I'm going to now target my after text. So I'm going to try to say glitch, write glitch just like this, and I'm going to say hover. So when you hover on this my after text, there are some changes that's going to happen. So I'm going to say after. So the first thing I'm going to do also for this, I'm going to make an animation just like the first one. Then after that, I'm going to target the glitch, and it's going to be 0.3 seconds also. 0.3 seconds and linear 6. So if I save here now, you're actually not seeing anything, but let me remove this my position of absolute just like this. By the time I save it, now you're seeing my 3 texts here. By the time if I hover on it, as you can see here, this is actually what we're having here. But my second text is not working, so let me head back. Okay, I'm supposed to give it a z index. First of all, I haven't changed the color, so I'm going to change the color to another different color. So I'm going to say color, and I'm going to give a z index to be -1. Since the first one here is -2, so I'm going to make this second one to be z index -1. So when I hover on them, now you're seeing the changes of the color that is happening right now. So let me bring back my position of absolute just like this that I removed earlier. A position of absolute, top to be 0, left to be 0. Now they're in the same position right now. So after that, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give an animation. So I'm going to say at keyframes, and I'm going to target my glitch here for my animation. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to say at 0%, I want top to be 0 and left to be 0. I want the top to move 0 and the left also to be 0, just like this. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to change this to 30%, and I'm going to change this to 40%, and this to 60, this to 80, and let's take this to 100%. So that's actually what we want. At 0%, we want top to be 0 and left to be 0. At 20%, we want top to be -5 pixels and left to be -5 pixels. So at 60%, we want top to be 5 pixels and left also to be 5 pixels. At 80%, we want top to be -5 pixels and left to be 5 pixels. At 100%, we want top to be 0 and left to be 0. So let's save this and let's see our results. So by the time I hover here, and now you're seeing what we're having here. We're having this glitch effect because of this animation that we inserted right now. Now we're having this glitch effect. So let me head back and explain it by here. If you look at my HTML here, I just have a H1 with a class name of glitch and a text of glitch also. For my CSS here, I give it a margin of 0, a padding of 0, and a box sizing to be border box, and I gave the background color and I gave a text color. I made the glitch text to be position absolute because I want to center it at the center of my page. That's why I gave it a top of 50% and a left of 50%, and I gave it a transform translate of -50% -50% just to make sure it is centered at the center of my page. And I gave it a font size of 5 rem just like this, and I gave it a letter spacing because I want a little bit of space between the letters, which I gave it a 10 pixel, and I made a cursor to be pointer so that when I'm hovering on it, we're going to be having a finger pointing at it. What I did next was I gave it a pseudo element, which is my before and after pseudo element, which I wanted to have 2 more texts. That's why I made it a pseudo element. And I gave the content a glitch. That was why we were having a text of glitch that was appearing. And I made it to be blocked so that they could be stacking on top of each other. And I made it position of absolute. I gave it a top of 0, left of 0. That was why now they were not visible. They were staying in the same position. All the 3 texts here were in the same position. So what I did was I gave some styling so that when I'm hovering on it, we should have some styling that was happening. The first thing I gave an animation, and I targeted my glitch. I gave it a 0.3 seconds linear. And what I did here, I gave it a color because when I hover on it, I want this color to appear. And I gave this a z index of -2. So what I did now next is I targeted my before after. Now also I gave it an animation and I gave it a color, and in this case I made the z index to be -1 so that they should not be having the same z index. So in this case, let me come here and say reverse. I forgot to give this reverse here. So what this reverse is going to do is going to give a reverse of what my before here is doing. So this one is going to be a reverse case of what this one is doing. So my after is going to be a reverse case of what my before pseudo element is doing. That's what this one means. So after that, I made a keyframe for my animation. I targeted my glitch. I said at 0%, I want it to move 0, top to be 0 and left to be 0. That means it's not going to move. At 20%, I made it to be 0. Also in this case, let me make it to be, at 20%, I made it to be 0 and I made the left to be 0. At 40%, I made it to be, okay, in this case, let me make this to be -5 pixel. Let me make this to be 5 pixel and this to be -5 pixel. At 20%, I made my top to move 5 pixels up and to move left -5 pixels by the left hand side. At 40%, I made it to move top to be -5 pixels, left to be -5 pixels. At 60%, I made it to top to move 5 pixels and left to move 5 pixels. At 80, top to move -5 pixels and left to move 5 pixels. At 100%, it was constant, top 0%, left to be 0%. That's actually why we are having this kind of glitch effect, just like this here. When I hover, now we're having this. When I remove it, and when I hover, now we're having this kind of glitch effect. If this video was helpful, please don't forget to like this video and tell me your experience while watching this video. And if you have any question, please ask me in the comment section and I will be glad to answer you. If you want to join us in exploring the world of web development, then join us by subscribing to the channel.